So welcome back to my page, guys. In this video I'll be teaching you how to cut a designed neckline like this. You could have been seeing this flying around on the internet. This is a proper way on how to go about this. I'll be teaching this in a full Princess Bustier method. This is our Princess Bustier. So I'll be going over this again for people requesting for this same video. I've done this several times, but I'll be explaining better in this video. So let's get right into it. You notice this same neckline design is the same design I used for the back. It is a new trending design. So how to properly go about it and how to properly cut it out to have a very real and lovely design, to have a nice design neckline. Let's get into the video. By marking out my measurements, I'll start out by marking out all my length, and for the shoulder length I'm going to mark out 1 inch from the top so I can use it to demarcate as my shoulder length. So I'm going to, you notice I mark my measurements at 2 angles. It is so I can link them together on a straight line. So from the shoulder I'm going to be measuring every other measurement, which is my nipple point. My nipple point is 10.5 inches, my under bust, which is 15 inches, and then my half length, which is 17.5 inches. Mind you, you have to add sewing allowance to this. So I'm making my nipple point 11, my under bust 15.5, and then the half length 18.5. I hope you can all see this clearly. I'm going to shift to the other side and mark out the same measurement so I can link them together on a straight line. Can we all see this? So we added 1 inch sewing allowance, which is for the joining by the shoulder and that by the half length, the joining up here and the joining at the half length. So I'm going to link it together with my ruler. Don't forget that this pattern paper is on fold as it should be. It is on fold. It is folded into 2. Can we all see this? As you should fold your fabric into 2. So for the design, I'm going to start by marking out my shoulder, my armhole, and then my body's measurement. For the shoulder, I have 16 inches divided by 2. I have 8 inches. I hope you can see this clearly. For the armhole, I'm going to use the same 8 inches for my armhole. I'll mark it at 2 points, like I always do. Mark my shoulder at 2.2 so I can link them together. I hope you can all see this. Mark it at 2 points so I can link it together. This is very easy and straightforward. We all have different methods we use in cutting, in sewing, in joining, but trust me, my method is always very simple and straightforward. So this is my armhole determinant, this is my shoulder, this is my nipple point, my under bust, and then the half length. So I'm going to go on and mark out my bodies. So I'm going to measure the bust measurement at the armhole line, which is 44 divided by 4, 11 inches. Mind you, I'm not adding sewing allowance until I'm done cutting everything practically. Can you see this? The under bust, I have 34 inches, that is 8.5. And then the half length, I have 36 inches, which is 9 inches. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. I'm going to link all this together with my French curve. I'm going to link them together, the body point together. I hope you can all see this. So this is my body line, the original body line. You can use freehand sketch for this as well, whichever way you find easy or comprehensive for you. It's not always about being easy, but then about being comprehensive. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add my sewing allowance. I'm going to add 1.5 inches as my sewing allowance. This also varies. If it's 2, you add your 2. If it's 2.5, and that works for you, add yours 2.5. So I'm going to relink the line. I'm going to relink my line. I hope we can all see this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my armhole line by 2. I'm going to come to the armhole line and divide it by 2. So we have 8 here. First, I'm going to remove my shoulder slant, which is 1 inch, and then whatever I have left, I divide by 2. This is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. At the 3.5, which is the midpoint of the armhole, I'm going to be coming in by 1/2 inch. I hope you can all see this. So I came in by 1/2 inch at the midpoint of the armhole. Can we see this? So this is 1/2 inch. So then I'm going to link my armhole point at my added allowance, at my added sewing allowance, to the 1/2 inch here. Can we see this? Place your French curve in a way that is touching the boat, and if you can do this with your free hand, you can do that as well. But this gives a perfect armhole curve, a perfect armhole line for us. So at the end of the day, I'm going to link this 1/2 inch to my shoulder tip, which is my shoulder slant. Can you see how perfect this looks? This is very straightforward and is looking is looking sweet already. Moving on, I'm going to create my dart, my bustier dart. So for my nipple to nipple, which I'm going to measure at my nipple point, don't forget I have 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5. I'm going to come down to the under bust and remove 1/2 inch from the 4.5. Don't forget, for it to give a perfect fit, remove 1/2 inch. Also mark your 4.5, so you know the indications. Can we see this? Mark your 4.5 all the way, mark a straight line there, and then your 4 inch, draw a straight line from your under bust to your half length. Can you see? Let it stop at the half length. Can we all see this? Stop it at the half length. So I'm going to go to the other side, measure what I have here, measure whatever you have here. This is 4 inches, right? So then you divide it by 2, which gives us 2 inches. So that 2 inches is what we'll be removing at our princess part to give us the bustier effect. Can you see? This is very easy and straightforward. If you are finding this difficult to comprehend, you can drop a comment in the comment section or request for another video. I make videos that will, trust me. So don't forget, measure whatever you have here, 4 inches divided by 2, and that is what you'll be using for your bustier effect, 2 inches. And then whatever you have as your nipple to nipple, which is 4.5 initially, just come down to your under bust and remove 1/2 inches so that it gives a comprehensive curve. So I'm going to place my, measure whatever you have at the armhole with your tape, measure it. So this is 12.5 all the way around. So I'm going to measure, divide this 12.5 by 2. Divide 12.5 by 2, that is 6 1/4. So measure 6 1/4 from here. So this is the 6 1/4. Can you see? This is our 6 1/4. So the next thing we are going to do is to remove 1 inch, measure additional 1 inch, which will be our shoulder dart. We call it the armhole dart or the shoulder dart. Can you see? Don't forget, measure your armhole to your shoulder slant, divide it by 2, 6 1/4, then remove additional 1 inch upward. And don't forget, this 1 inch we are removing upward. Okay, let me link this. Can you see? So link this to your nipple point and also link this to your nipple point. this is what we create the princess effect for the armhole. That can we see that we are getting somewhere already. This is a regular process. I have a video on this already on my channel, but we have to go through this before getting to the sculptured neckline effect. Can you see this? So this 1 inch you removed here in order for the princess not to be short, because at the end of the day, oftentimes when you join the princess to the body, it might be an inch short. So this 1 inch, we are going to add it to the princess. Add 1 inch to the princess and connect it like so. Can you see? Extend it up, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the armhole. You are going to have to relink it to the armhole. Relink your armhole, create another armhole. Can you see? So this is not useful. Don't forget, this is not useful. Mark it out. Can you see what we have already? This is looking like this is looking sweet already. Don't forget, this is our main bodice. This is our sewing allowance. But then we have removed something from here. We have removed something from here, and if we measure whatever we have left here, you notice that it will not be up to the original measurement. Talk more of the added allowance. Do you get my point? What we have here is nowhere near the original measurement. Talk more of our added allowance. So you are going to carry all this added allowance, measure everything that you have here. This is 2.5 inches, and then transfer it to the side. Can you see? This is measure this again, 2.5, transfer it to the underbust, 2.5. Can you see? So it affects mainly the underbust and then the half length. Can you see? So we are going to link this again, link this together, and then we are going to link it directly to the bust line or the chest line. Can you see what we have? So don't get this confused. This line is our original measurement. This line is our sewing allowance, while this line is our bustier dart, our removed bustier dart. What we've removed here, we transferred it to this other side. So I'm going to go ahead and label my pattern. So this is a neckline, this is our chest line, this is the nipple point, this is the underbust, and then this is the waist line. Can we all see this clearly? This is our armhole, this is our bustier effect. Can you see how simple and direct this is? This is simple and quite straightforward. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to create my neckline, and then we are done with the front pattern. So I'm going to create my neckline by measuring the width of the neck, which is 3.5 inches. And then for the length, I'll be using 6 inches. I'll be coming down to as far as 6 inches. Can you see this? So to create this effect, I'm going to link it together first with my French curve, and then from there you can create your sculptural neckline. You can create your design neckline. Can you see this? You can fairly use your hand, or you can use the French curve if you feel like so. So I'll be using my hand for this. This is very simple and quite straightforward. Can you see? Can you see what we have? So initially you first have to link it together with your French curve first, so you don't exceed the marked line. you have something to guide you already. That's the initial purpose. That's the purpose of initially marking this out. Can we all see this? So this is done and ready. The only thing I have to do now is to link my shoulder slant to my neckline, my 1-inch shoulder slant to my neckline, and then our front pattern is ready. We are going to go ahead and cut this out now. Hello, mon chéri. So this is what we have for the front pattern, and like I usually advise people to notch the nipple point. So notch and always start your joining from the nipple point. I hope you can all see this. Always start your joining from the nipple point, so it will all be even. Start from the nipple point up, from the nipple point down. So this is what we have as the front pattern. You can see this is looking lovely already. So let's go ahead to drawing the back pattern and then cutting it out. So this is our back pattern, and then we are going to do exactly the same thing we did on the front pattern on the back pattern. The only difference will be, number one, there won't be a bustier effect, and then number two, there's going to be an inserted zipper allowance, and the zipper allowance is the first thing we are going to mark out. So we are going to mark out, I'm going to mark out 1.5 inch all the way through my pattern paper. One and a half inch, and then I'm going to link it all through like so. Can you see? Mark out 1.5, which is the zipper allowance, and link it through all the way through like so. So next thing I'm going to do is mark out all my points. So I'm going to mark out my chest line, which is the same thing as my shoulder length. Can you see? Mark out my under bust and then my half length. Can you see this? Chest line, under bust, half length. I'm going to do the same thing at the two sides. They just go further away so you can be able to link it all together with your ruler. Can you see this? Under bust and half length. So the next thing I'm going to do is mark my shoulder line to 8 inches, come down to my chest line, mark the same 8 inches. Can we all see this? So I'm going to link every single one of this all through. Can you see this? So I'm going to link my shoulder line as well. So this is our basic pattern. Next thing I'm going to do is start my measurement. I'll start by measuring my bust line, which is 11 inches. 44 divided by 4, 11 inches. I'll go ahead and measure my under bust, 8.5 inches. 34 divided by 4. I'll go ahead and measure my half length, 9 inches. 36 divided by 4. Can we all see this? So I'm going to link them to all through with my free hand, and then add my sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inch. Add 1.5 inch all the way through. 1.5 inches. Can you see this? So I'm going to link that as well with my free hand, and the reason is this is not the final destination. So I'm going to mark out the same nipple point, which is our nipple to nipple, our dart line, which we used for the front, which is 4.5. I'm going to mark it out at the back, 4.5 all the way to the chest line. Can we all see this? So what I'll do is to create my dart at the back to avoid bulging. One of the reasons why your dress bulges at the back is because there is no dart. Number one, you can add your dart at the zip allowance or at the center back. Can you see the point now? Can you see what I'm trying to explain? You can add some people, they remove 1 inch, slant it all the way to the chest line. Can you see? While you can do the same at the center back, so you just remove ½ inch to the side and ½ inch to the other side. That is 1 inch altogether. Or you remove 1 inch from your zipper allowance, and then you start your measurement from there. Do you get my point? So to keep this simple, I'll just remove 1 inch at both sides and then link it down to my chest line. I'll do the same thing at the other side. So this is our dart for the back bodice. So, and don't forget, as we always do, this same 1 inch we added, we are going to transfer to the side, because if we don't, it's going to affect the measurement. Measure was A2 and transfer it to the side. So now I can now link it all through with my French curve to create a permanent marking. Can you see? So I'll link it together with this. Can you see? Link it together with this. So don't forget, these are bodice measurements, these are sewing allowance, and this is our dart allowance, which we have here. You have to bring it to the side because we are going to cut this part off. Can you see? So next thing I'm going to do is to create my armhole line. Mark 1 inch, our shoulder slants like we did on the front bodies. Our neckline 3.5. And for the back, I won't be going as low as the front. It will be low too, but not as low as the front. So I'll be using 3.5 for the neck length as well. Can you see? So I'll be linking it together with my French curve. Can you see? Link together. Link together. And then the same thing I did to the front. I'm going to divide whatever we have here by 2 and then come in by ½ inch. Place my French curve correctly and link these two together. After doing that, you link it to the shoulder slant. And mind you, we all have different approach by which we use to get our calculations. Some people don't use this method for the back. It is okay, use whatever method works for you, but this is my own process, this is my own method. For people that want to learn how I sew neatly, how my processes come out so neat, this is the process I use, this is the method I use. So, and I try to learn every single day. This was not the original measure method I used to use. I had to adapt and learn from people as well. Do you get my point? So fashion is not just static. You have to keep learning. And don't forget our design and the neckline. I'll be doing it with my hand again. You can use your French curve or use a cover, the cover of the bottle, or you use your hand. It is as simple as that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out our bodice pieces. Can you see this? You just take your time while cutting out the neck. There's no need to rush. So you see what we have. So you can either link this to your armhole or link it all the way up. We have different methods by which we use this approach. So I'll be carrying this all the way up. Can you see? So I'm going to be placing this on my fabric, and then I'll be using it to cut out my bodice pattern. Can you see how lovely this turned out? If you find this really helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to give my page a follow as well, so we can all learn more together. So this is the back pattern, and then this is the front pattern. It is as simple as that. Follow me for more videos like this. Enjoy your day. Peace.